If sport has ever got you through a bad week, made you feel part of something, or started a friendship, then this podcast is for you. Welcome to Across the Codes. I'm Kamogelo.
And I'm Bali. This is a space for sports lovers who care about more than just the scorelines. We're here for the passion, the friendships, the comfort, and the moments that sports brings into our lives. No matter the code, no matter the team, if you love sports, you're home.
So this episode is a little bit different. You know how I mentioned that Mbali and I share a love for a lot of the same sports. However, we also have our own codes that we're deeply invested in. Welcome to Your Code, My Code, a segment where Mbali and I step into our corners and let you in on what has been happening in our respective sporting codes. Different games, same passions. Let's get into it. Hi, I'm Kamogelo, and this is my corner where I'll be taking you through everything netball and tennis. So, looking at the first thing that happened in netball at Netball South Africa, our very own sister, Kamogelo Maseko, has joined the London Pulse for the 2026 season. As you know, the London Pulse plays in the Netball Super League in the UK. They won the title last season, so they want to beef up their team, beef up their attack. So they signed our lovely Kamogelo Maseko. As you know, Kamu used to play for the Gauteng Jaguars in the Telkom Netball League, and she's very comfortable at playing both wing attack and goal attack. She's a very energetic and feisty player. Like when she's playing, you can see and feel the passion she has for netball. So Kamu now we're playing in the Netball Super League, joining some of our very own. Kanyisa Chawan is there, Shadeen van der Merwe, Rolien Streeter, to name a few. So she'll be playing there, and I just can't wait to see what she has, because I feel like Kamu has so much potential and her future is so bright because she's been playing well. She made her debut for the Spar Proteas at the age of 20, and she's now the starting goal attack in our team. So I'm just happy for her, and I hope she will shine there. And she was very sneaky about this because she didn't say anything. I mean, we recently had the Spar Netball Challenge. I think it was a challenge or a championship, or where we played a test series with England. This girl already knew she's going there. She already knew because she took a picture with some of her teammates from London Pulse, and London Pulse actually posted on their Instagram. They're like, "Oh, good luck to our players." You know, like how these teams always do when they're on international duty. They'll post their players and say, "Oh, my player is playing." So they posted her, and she even denied that she's going to the UK. But now we know Cat is out of the bag, and she posted. So I'm very excited about it, and I'm absolutely happy for her. I can't wait for her to shine and just wave that South African flag high in the Netball Super League. Moving on to tennis, there's a lot that's been happening. There are so many competitions that are happening. Masters 1000, Masters 500 that happened after the Grand Slam. But however, the one that I want to talk about today is the Dubai Open. So, you know, after the Australian Open, there's Grand Slams that happen. There's Indian Wells, there's Doha, there's Qatar, there's not Qatar, Dubai, yeah, right? So there's also Rotterdam, but it's on the men's side. I want to focus more on the women's side. So directly after the Australian Open, the women play two consecutive WTA 1000 tournaments. Two consecutive. There's no break in between. There's not a 500 in between. They're just playing. And mind you, it's coming after a Grand Slam that took a lot of preparation, a lot of effort, you know. So they play Dubai. No, they play Doha first, and then they play Dubai. So there are players who play Doha, and then there are players who didn't play Doha, but they're going to play Dubai. But now what happened is some of the big names in your Arena Sabalenka, Iga Swiatek, pulled out of the Dubai Open because they're tired. They're fatigued. They just come from a Grand Slam. There are other competitions. So some of them is tiredness, some of them is minor injuries. However, what I want to come to is the organizer of Dubai was not happy with the fact that Iga and Arena decided to not play. He was so vocal on how if players are doing this, they should be docked points. Points must be deducted from them. You cannot just decide before an open that, oh, no, I'm not playing this tournament anymore. Because apparently he went and found out if the injury is serious, if I think it was Arena's injury is serious, or I forgot who was injured between Arena and Iga. If the injury is very serious, can they still play? And then he found that no, it's not a really serious injury. It's not an injury that's worth pulling out of the competition. I felt like that was very suspicious. Like, why would you do that? And why do you want points to be deducted? Because if you look at the calendar on the women's side, it is stacked. What do you mean these women have to play a Grand Slam, then two back-to-back WTA 1000 competitions? That is a lot. And most of them will want to play this because they want to defend points, they want to gain points, they want to keep their rankings. So, and when you look at the men's side, it's very relaxed because after that, it's just like an ATP 500, how are they at Rotterdam, Summit in the USA. For them, it's quite relaxed. It's not as taxing as on the women's side. So I don't know about that, and I don't know why he thinks points should be deducted. Personally, I think it shouldn't be deducted, and I think as athletes, you have a right to listen to your body, to say, I'm tired, I don't think I can continue. And I think we saw this with Elena Rybakina when she was playing now in Doha. She was tired. She had to retire because she was physically exhausted. You could see her that she is tired. Mind you, she just won the Australian Open. Now she's playing a WTA 1000. You could see she is tired. So I'm all for the athletes listening to their bodies, even if it's a minor injury, not risking making it any worse. Just deciding that, you know what, I feel this pain, let me listen to my body, let me take time and rest and pull out. Let me rather play when I feel I'm 100. So yeah, those are the things that have been happening in my corner. Now we're gonna switch over to Mbali's corner.
Hi everyone, this is Mbali's Corner. Welcome to my corner where we're into football. It'll change, and cricket. It will change from time to time depending on the most topical or the most important thing from that week. But this week we have two big stories that I'm very excited to share. The first one, everyone might have seen on their feeds on the Instagram or TikTok, whatever social media feed you're on. You might have seen that ESPN has announced that they are going to introduce Women's Sports Sundays on ESPN. Now, a huge round of applause to ESPN for doing this, following last week's episode where we talked about women's sports coverage and media coverage. We're very excited to see this, especially after that episode. So kudos and congratulations to everyone on that end. They did mention that it's going to be, they have a programming schedule that they're working on currently. It's more than a programming block, they say, right? So it's apparently represents a bold commitment to incomparable competition and basically consistency in what they show. Because I know that they currently show the NWSL games as well as the WNBA games, but this is going to be kind of dedicated to showing prime time as well. Because sometimes, especially here in South Africa, I will catch like a one NWSL game in maybe like, I don't know, a blue moon, but I've never come across a WNBA game. So I don't think it plays on the same ESPN that has coverage internationally. Um, they play the NBA on ESPN, but I also don't know if those are at the time when the games are playing. So that's going to be a very interesting development. People are very excited, I'm guessing. There's been quite a lot of conversation on that. I don't know how they're going to actually carry this on, because currently in the WNBA there are CBA talks that are not going so well. We don't even know if there's going to be a league played, if there's going to be a season. We have no clue. The CBA talks keep going up and down. We don't know what they're agreeing on. So we're just kind of waiting on that. And I think maybe ESPN is also waiting on that. But we know that officially the WNBA has broken out to say that they have a season schedule. They've put the season schedule out there, but we don't actually know if players are going to pitch up on those days to play, if there's even going to be a WNBA season at all. So that's interesting that ESPN would kind of have this announcement then. I think this whole conversation, actually, now that I'm talking about it, is actually making me realize that possibly we're seeing this kind of media coverage coming from ESPN because of the WTA talks, maybe there's been some kind of influence on ESPN to do that. But I'm really excited, and I hope we get to NBA. You have to have like the app, you have to download or pay for the league pass. So that's about like 700 Rand to watch all the games. I haven't done it. I am going to do it this year though, so that I can watch the games live. The second story is also about basketball, and this one is one of those stories that's gonna tug at your heart. So, if you're somebody who watches sports at 10, on SABC One, you might have seen. I think it was last week or 2 weeks back. They had a young basketball player from a South African women's basketball player. Her name is Reatlegile Taukobong. So Rhea is somebody who she has captained her side, so her under 18 side, the women's basketball under 18 South Africa team. She captained them to the FIBA under 18 women's Afro basket, which they played against a couple of teams. So they had Tunisia, Cameroon, Rwanda, Egypt, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, and Uganda. And I think the games that we played, or the teams that we were playing against, was I think they said Egypt and Mali was also here. I'm not seeing it here, but basically those were the two teams that we were playing. And we didn't do so well in there. The big story about Ria's coming, I'm just laying foundation. So we didn't do really well in that tournament. We couldn't make it. So from the 2024, this is a bit of a late story, but the dots will connect. So from the 2024 Afrobasket that played, the top two teams are the two teams that were going to the 2025 FIBA under 19 women's World Cup, right? We couldn't qualify for that. That's okay. But Rhea captained the side. She's a phenomenal player. She's a basketball star. If you follow Soweto basketball, you actually will know of her. So the big story is that Soweto basketball basically made an announcement on the 21st of January. So we're still kind of late to the party, but they basically congratulated Rhea on her her signing or her move to the Western Texas College in the USA. So congratulations to Rhea. She's playing in the NCAA. So this is the National League for College Basketball Players. The NCAA is an association across different sporting codes, but obviously because she's a basketball player, it applies to basketball. So she's playing for Western Texas College. I went to go have a look at like where they currently play in the NCAA. They're playing in Division 2. They're part of the Lone Star Conference. So we're hoping that Rhea has a phenomenal time in the USA. I mean, we have an export that got essentially drafted into a college team in the USA, and she's a woman. So excited and so happy. This is huge. I need to check my basketball ladies in South Africa a bit more. So that team that played in the 2024 AfroBasket, I definitely am going to be stalking them a bit more to understand where they play and all of that. It seems like it's a very like exciting, corner of the world, corner of the sports world. So I'll definitely be checking it out. But all the best to her as she plays in that second division of the NCAA, and hopefully she gets drafted or she gets traded rather into the higher division, and that she does well. Hopefully she gets drafted into the WNBA, guys. That would be so cool. Imagine a whole South African playing in the W. That would make my life, like not even my year. Whatever year it happens, it wouldn't just make my year, it would make my life. So a huge congratulations to them. A huge congratulations to Soweto Basketball, because Soweto Basketball Academy, because I know that they're doing such good work for basketball in the country. So congratulations to them, and congratulations to all the basketball bodies in the country that continue to champion women's basketball and basketball generally. So kudos to everybody. I'm excited, and I hope you really enjoyed my corner.
And that is it for Your Code, My Code. We hope you've loved this segment. As I said, we both love sports, but we also have different codes that we're interested in. We'll be back another time to let you in on what's happening in our worlds of sports, because every code gets its moment and every story gets its spotlight. Bye.
Bye.